Getting to lead a trip to the Holy Land is an opportunity to continue to not just share the story, but to live the story, to embody the story. And then when we return to our homes, then those are stories that we get to share with one another, with our people back home.
It's a very complicated space where people are fighting for their lives, but they also have to still live their life.
I was like, yeah, I want to go. Like, why not learn about something that we don't get to talk about, and what we do talk about is only on the news, and you don't know what you don't know. And I realized coming here, I don't know a lot of things. I really don't.
I've been challenged in a different way of what it means to not, the implications of not basing beliefs on love.
What does that do to inspire people when they do come to this place? Not just to be a consumer of Christianity, not just to be a tourist, but to establish lasting relationships, to hear the stories of joy and despair and love and hope and resistance in a place where stories so desperately need to be heard, in a place, space, and time where there's a dominant narrative that's been taking over a particular story.
The focus on young adults of color on Peace Not Walls is very similar to how I feel about focusing on young adults of color, young adults in global mission. We often don't get opportunities to see things like this, and when we do, it's often in a very white lens, very whitewashed lens, or a very Christian lens, or you don't get to see the whole picture.
I don't want to sound too cliche, but it's been pretty life-changing, I would say. Just because I think I've been searching for a long time as a woman of color, as also a woman of privilege. It's just been affirming and knowing that I can be the Christian that I want to be, that isn't so cookie cutter.
I love this church, and I also know that this church has a ways to go, and so part of that is inviting young adults of color into these spaces and hearing our voices and allowing our voices to be amplified. So being able to be a person to amplify those voices is extremely important to me.
It has definitely been different from just all my expectations of what my experience should be in the Holy Land. I've learned a lot from the Palestinian people, and in the midst of just being severely oppressed and under-resourced and different aspects that look like my community, in the way that they say, you know what, we're gonna love. Even though another narrative's being painted, we're gonna love and we're gonna keep doing what God has put on our heart to do.
For me, it's been humbling and a privilege to be leading this group, getting to see those connections being made and hearing those stories of resistance, hearing those stories of hope, and realizing, wow, we have so much to share with one another. And for me, that has been the biggest joy in getting to lead this trip.